She ruled longer than any monarch in her time. 67 years on the throne, and not a wrinkle to show for it. The Queen of Velmora was beloved, feared, and worshipped. Her people called her the Eternal Rose, a name whispered with awe and pride, and later with dread. Because what began as admiration for her youth and beauty slowly twisted into something far darker, something unspeakable. No one truly knows where Queen Livana came from. Some say she was born during a blood moon. Others claim she walked out of the forest, barefoot and crowned in thorns. The royal records say she was 23 when she took the throne, the young bride of a dying king. When he passed, barely 6 months into their marriage, she emerged as sole ruler. Dignified, controlled, perfect. Her subjects rejoiced, believing her reign marked a new era of grace and wisdom. But decades passed, and nothing changed. Livana's hair stayed silver, not white from age, but silver like polished metal. Her skin remained pale and flawless, untouched by time. Even in the harsh sun of battle campaigns or the bitter winters of the northern territories, her face never cracked, her posture never stooped. The same violet eyes looked out from every portrait, every speech, every coin. At first, people called it a miracle, proof of divine favor. Poets wrote sonnets about her, calling her immortal, eternal, the Moon Queen. But over time, the awe turned to unease. Then fear. Because it wasn't just that the queen didn't age. It was what seemed to happen around her. Her firstborn son vanished at the age of 5. The official report said he drowned in the royal baths, but the body was never recovered. The bathhouse was closed for renovations that very night, and the maid who had last seen him was found dead 2 days later, hanging from the rafters of the laundry room, her mouth sewn shut with gold thread. The second child, a daughter, disappeared on the eve of her 6th birthday. The palace claimed she had been kidnapped, possibly by rebels. But no ransom note was ever delivered, and no rebel groups were active in Velmora at the time. A low-ranking guard later told a friend that he had seen the girl being led, barefoot and crying, into the queen's private tower. That guard was beheaded for treason the following morning. As the years stretched on, a disturbing pattern emerged. The queen adopted children, always around the age of 5 or 6. Some were said to be orphans, others noble wards, but they never lived to see their 8th birthday. Some disappeared quietly. Others were explained away with vague illnesses. There were no funerals, no graves, and through it all, the queen remained radiant. A traveling scholar from the East wrote in his journal, "I have seen emperors who drink the blood of snakes, and sages who bathe in mountain fire, but never have I seen such unnatural stillness as in her. She does not blink when spoken to. She does not breathe when at rest. Her presence dries the throat and chills the blood." One palace cook claimed to have seen a servant bring the queen a covered silver bowl late at night. The servant returned alone, pale and shaking, and resigned the next morning. When the cook asked what was inside the bowl, the servant whispered, "It looked like a heart." That servant was later found wandering the woods naked, teeth shattered, mumbling in broken phrases about tiny bones and a scream that never ends. Still, no one dared accuse the queen openly. To speak ill of her was considered heresy. Those who tried to raise the alarm were silenced, through exile, imprisonment, or sudden disappearance. The court was kept in line by fear and splendor. Velvet halls, gold-lined staircases, and feasts with roasted peacock and honeyed blood pudding. But beneath the luxury lay the bones of children. There was a hidden chamber beneath the queen's private quarters, accessible only by twisting a stone gargoyle's tongue near the hearth. Inside, the walls were stained red. The floor sloped toward a drain, and a black iron chair stood in the center, surrounded by surgical instruments carved from pearl and bone. A basin sat at her feet. Wide, shallow, always clean. Legends say the queen believed that the blood of her own blood, her children, was the purest source of vitality. that by consuming their hearts before they were corrupted by age, she could absorb their years. 10 years of life per child, they said. And she was careful. Never more than one child per decade. Never enough to cause suspicion among the masses. Just enough to keep herself untouched. It worked. She lived longer than anyone else in her lineage. Her voice never trembled. Her teeth never yellowed. She danced at festivals with the grace of a young maiden while generations of noble families withered and died. But even eternity has its limits. Her final child, born when she was nearing 60, was different. He was kept hidden from the court for years, raised in secret chambers, told nothing of the outside world. They say he was gentle, curious, and bright. One day, as a teenager, he escaped his chambers and wandered into the palace archives, where he discovered the truth. He read the royal records, found sketches of children who looked like him, found transcripts of confessions, sealed in wax. When he confronted the queen, she did not deny it. Instead, she placed a hand on his chest and whispered, "You were always meant to be part of me." He ran. They caught him. What happened after is unclear. Some say he was drowned in a basin of wine. Others claim his heart was carved out during a lunar eclipse and eaten raw. One legend says his soul still haunts the palace ruins, screaming into the stone. After his death, something changed in the queen. Her eyes no longer shone. Her hands trembled slightly during ceremonies. Her voice cracked once, just once, during a winter speech. People began to murmur again. Not about her beauty this time, but about the price. When she died, no body was displayed. A sealed coffin was carried through the capital under heavy guard. The nobles wept. The commoners cheered. The coffin was buried beneath the palace in a silver tomb, lined with mirrors, locked from the inside. Years later, when the palace was abandoned and Velmora fell to ruin, treasure hunters broke into the tomb. What they found was not a body, but a pile of children's crowns, each with a name carved in the inside rim. The coffin was empty. Today, the legend of Queen Livana persists in children's rhymes. Hush, hush, don't make a sound, or the queen will come around. Soft as silk with silver hair, she'll take you smiling, unaware. Into the night, beneath the floor, she'll feed, and you'll be seen no more. Some say she still walks among us, wearing a different face, that she learned to change her skin like a snake, moving from kingdom to kingdom. That every once in a while, a child goes missing, no trace, no sound, and a silver-haired woman is seen nearby. The mirror in her tomb was never broken. It still stands, perfectly polished, untouched by time. And if you look into it long enough, some say you'll see her reflection, looking back, smiling. Not with joy, but with hunger.